This is for being a Romany Gypsy, a Jew, or another ethnic minority. Can you imagine this? There is your dad, there's your mummy, being humiliated before death. These poor Romany people and other ethnic minority people are armed with nothing. They had no chance. They had zero chance of survival. Nothing. And you can make a sick joke of that. I would not lower myself to get physical with this man. And I would tell any of my Romany people, yeah, pray for this man's poor heart.
Welcome back to realnotguiltytv, bringing the most exciting interviews from around the world. Today, delighted to be back in Uxbridge with my now good friend Joe Smith. If you haven't previously seen, Joe's done an interview on the channel a couple of months ago. Go and check that out, link will be in description. Unfortunately, we're not here for the most positive note today. Unfortunately, there's something that's disgusting that's gone on recently with one of Britain's most prominent comedians, and obviously, understandably, it's really upset Joe and a lot of other people out there at the moment. Joe, I think is no further ado. Joe, obviously, pleasure to be back with you today, but would you like to sort of explain what's gone on? And
yeah, as you rightly said, Christian, we're talking about one of the most prominent TV comedians in the UK. This man has amassed a huge amount of money from his comedy shows. He lives in an £8.5 million house in North London. Yeah, this bloke graduated from Cambridge, so we're talking about somebody here with supposedly intelligence, right, and wealth to go with it. And he's made this ghastly, disgusting joke about the Holocaust and the death of 500,000 Romany Gypsies, and who so happen to be my people. So I'm clearly in disgust and angered. And what he actually said was, in his joke, let's talk about the Holocaust, and we lost 6 million Jews in that, right? Okay, he says this. He then goes on to say, but 500,000 Romany Gypsies got killed in the Holocaust, but nobody ever speaks about the positive. So he's actually saying there's positivity in 500,000 of my people, yeah, getting murdered, yeah, like lambs to slaughter. The genocide, it is very, very worse by the Nazi regime. He thinks that is positive, and he thinks that sick joke is acceptable, yeah? He thinks that's acceptable. We're here in 2022, yeah, where we're looking for race equality.
So for anyone who hasn't obviously realised, Joe's talking about Jimmy Carr, and obviously his special Netflix special that came out, wasn't it, a few days ago, that's obviously caused all the controversy, understandably absolute disgusting comments. And so Joe, talk to me about where we go from here then with Jimmy. What do you think should be done with him? How do you think it'd be resolved? I'd hate to think if you were to bump into him in the street today, what might happen?
Well, firstly, I'd like to get into the art of this man. I'd like to get into, he's clearly, he should be an intelligent bloke. I want to see what's gone wrong with his heart, right? Because as I said earlier, this guy's graduated from Cambridge, yeah? He's a very wealthy man, so I think he doesn't lack intelligence, but he must lack some art here. I'd like to put it to Jimmy, this is a message for him. I'd like him, or any of his supporters, yeah? I'd like you to be holding the hand of your much loved mother, with your father standing beside you, yeah? And suddenly, your father is hit with the butt of a gun. He's kicked in the backside, humiliated in front of his wife and his child. His mother then tries to hang on to their child. And at this stage, some soldiers just grab her by the hair, humiliate her, and you've been loaded onto a train. And your fate at the other end, at best you might get a shower, dressed in some pyjamas, and very little short, sometime after this, you're going to meet your death. Yeah, this is for being a Romany Gypsy, a Jew, or another ethnic minority. Can you imagine this? There is your dad, there's your mummy, being humiliated before death. I want to get that into this comedian's art. Let him think about that. That could have been that man, right? Because he was born in the same West London hospital as me, yeah? Just 26 years post these happenings by the Nazi regime. Yeah, we don't know where we're going to be born. We're in our mummy's tummy. Who we are. Thank the good Lord above. Me and Jimmy Carr had a group of soldiers called the British soldiers and rulers. Yeah, that defeated and battled so bravely to beat the Nazi regime. We have a Remembrance Sunday. We have a Remembrance Sunday every year for those brave young men and women that give their lives for us, for their freedoms. Some went in battlefields with very little chance of survival. Yes, right? I want to get this over. They had very little chance of survival, and we owe our lives to them. But these poor Jewish people, these poor Romani people, and other ethnic minority people are armed with nothing. They had no chance. They had zero chance of survival. Nothing. And he can make a sick joke of that. That's what I want him to get into his heart, that.
And I bet if you were to bump into Jimmy Carr walking down the street today, I bet it wouldn't end too nicely for him, would it?
Well, look, I'm clearly angered with this man, and rightfully so, yeah? But if anyone now is thinking that, you know, it wouldn't end too well for him, I'd strike out at this man. Let's look at the very core of this problem. This was violence, had its utter worst disgustness. This genocide, to the worst thing ever seen in mankind in human history, happened. It was violence at its very worst. I would never degrade myself to lay the weight of my hand on a person like Jimmy Carr and bring back in the violence with the very subject, the very topic is violence at its worst. No, I would not lower myself to get physical with this man. And I would tell any of my Romani people, yeah, pray for this man's poor heart, yeah, pray for his poor heart, don't get physical with him. We are the biggest, largest ethnic minority in Europe. I'm sending this message out, but I can't speak for all my Romani fellow Gypsies. I can't speak for those. But the word I personally would not lay an hand, and this is not violence with violence. This has to be done by the man himself. He's got to come out, he's got to apologise, he's got to apologise to our people.
Would apology be enough? Obviously, before an apology, obviously we would like to see it, I'm sure, obviously the most obvious thing is it taken down from Netflix straight away. It needs to be taken down. And then obviously an apology from Mr. Carr, that would be enough? Or do you want to see him cancelled? What needs to be done, Joe? Talk to me.
Well, what I'd like to see done is an apology from Mr. Carr and the public to get this right. Yeah, the genocide that happened in Rwanda. These people are black people, but if you have humanity about you, they're my people. It says in my Bible, you know, love your neighbour as you would love others. Respect and love your foreigner. So if you have humanity in your heart, the genocide that happened in Rwanda are my people. Okay, they might appear differently from me, but in my heart, they're my people. The Kurdish people that lay dead in the street, innocent men, women and children, gashed, laying around the streets like pieces of rag cloth, disregarded. They're my people. Yeah? They're not Romani Gypsies, but my heart, as a human, they're my people. So I ask you, the public, anybody with humanity, yeah, to stop supporting the man using such sick jokes. I ask the TV companies to stop using the man that's providing such sick jokes. He's got to come out and apologise, and it's down to you, the public, to stop supporting his material. Yeah? That's what I ask.
Yeah, so I know that you're a God-fearing man, Joe, so if he does obviously apologise, obviously get it taken down from Netflix, obviously comes out and it is a sincere apology, can there be forgiveness for this man? Could there be a second chance now after something like this?
Well, yes, we forgive, but never forget. That's the important thing. You forgive this man, but you don't forget what this man has done. Okay? So let's not support him. Let's forgive him. Let's pray for his heart, but let's not support him.
If Jimmy Carr was to give a sincere apology, would that be enough for you, Joe? Would you forgive him, or do you believe he is a sincere man?
Well, he's not a man I would trust. Yeah, this very man in question, I would like to think, as we spoke about forgiveness, I would like to think that his heart repairs. Yeah, but he's not a man I trust as a sincere man. This man, you have to bear in mind, had taken his very father to court over harassment. and the charges put to his father, his charges actually, put to his father were, you stop harassing me via fax in those days, text and late phone calls. His very father had taken him to court. Only to go to court, his father to be freed of these charges, and Jimmy Carr to admit he could have faced perjury and went to prison, but as opposed to he didn't go to court, he admitted and paid libel that he had lied to a reporter about his own dad. Minnow harassment charges that he lied. I also want to put to the public here, right, I want you to take this on board. You're going to get £350 a week, £750, and so on per week. You work hard. Yeah, this guy lives in an £8.5 million house in North London, and this man evaded paying tax. So me, Jimmy Carr, yeah, I've got an £8.5 million pad, but you, Mr. Joe Bloggs, go and get your £453 wage back, and you pay a little bit more tax for people like ourselves evading tax. So he's another man I would trust. He's got proven history as a man I could trust. So I trust him to make this open apology. I pray to God that his heart repairs, and I trust the public to do what they see fit in this ghastly, disgusting situation brought on by somebody of wealth, intelligence, and is an household name.
Well, I think that's summed up excellently there, Joe. I know obviously it's a understandably sour and disgusting point, and a point that's raised obviously a lot of anger with lots of people, and hopefully Jimmy can do the right thing and get it taken down. Before I leave you today, Joe, I'd like to just turn a note to all the viewers there. There's lots of great material that's going to be coming soon on Joe's YouTube channel, just renamed Cushy TV, link below in the description. Please go and check it out, guys. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Remember, my brothers, keep punching in the right direction. Love you.